Am I the idiot for abandoning my parents and risking them losing the house? When I was in college, I fell in with the wrong people, became a bit of an alcoholic and got pregnant. I had to drop out of college. My daughter's father was also a college student. I ended up going back to school and finishing up my degree. The issue was that her father got a very lucrative career path in his home state when she was 2. He didn't want to move if it meant he would lose custody, and my parents were only willing to fund my education in this particular college. We decided that all things considered, the best thing for our child was that she be with her dad and his very supportive family. I regret that decision every day, but it was the best thing for my child. I have completed college and have been working for a year and a half. I have been paying for everything. My parents are eyeballs deep in consumer debt, and all of their income goes to servicing it and adding to it while I pay for everything else. It is frustrating as I don't make enough to keep them happy. I wanted to move out, but I was not able to land anything worthwhile. I have been able to get a pretty decent remote role. My brother ended up moving to my ex's state. He asked me if I wanted to move in with them. I jumped on the opportunity. I lied to my parents that I was just visiting him and flew out. I have been staying with him ever since. My parents are incredibly angry. They have accused me of abandoning them. They think they will lose the house. They want me to still help them and move back. I feel like an idiot because they have helped me. They took me in when I was someone on the edge of alcoholism, and now I am a sober and productive member of society. It could have been so much worse without their help, and I was pretty underhanded about it too. You're the idiot. I am sure some of their debt is your college expenses. I completely understand that you should be close to your child and back in her life. I suggest you and your parents make a budget for them, listing all their debts and what you are willing and able to help with. You may pay off your school debt if that is still outstanding. Sneaking away you did was the easy way out to avoid a confrontation. Finally, if you parents are in financial trouble, all of their children should try to assist and not just you. Not the idiot. Your parents made the choices that put themselves in debt. You don't owe it to them to financially support them for the rest of their lives and lose out on being in your son's life in the process. Update. It has been 2 months since I posted and a lot has happened. The commenters helped me a lot. I was dealing with a lot of guilt about leaving my parents, and people helped me feel less like a horrible daughter. I have moved out and got a place of my own. It is only half an hour's drive from my ex's home. I get to see my daughter every week. I go over to his place every other day. I missed her so much. Just being able to play with her tells me that I made the right decision. My parents have tried to contact me and guilt me. I did send them rent for a month, but I cut them off. The only reason I have savings is because I hid money from them. I couldn't say no to them. It was horrible. They are planning on selling the house and buying a smaller one. They will have no savings left for retirement. My sister, who I have a really strained relationship with, called me and tried to tell me that I should at least help them out after they paid for my college. She had a specific figure which was way more than they spent. I told her they didn't pay that much for my education. She didn't believe me, but I sent her the receipts. So, they had asked her for money and she had given them the money. They had told her that they needed money because they were paying for my tuition. They just inflated how much they were paying on my behalf. It is a lot. I know she hates me. We were played off against each other growing up. I can't describe how emotional it made me to realize she still cared enough about me to help my parents. I know for a fact that she wouldn't have given them any money if they weren't helping me. It is a lot to work through. Things are pretty messed up right now, but I have a place of my own. I can see my daughter. I have a great job and I am sober. Not the idiot. Your parents' poor financial choices are not your burden. You've helped as much as you could. Overall, your daughter is the most important person to be thinking about. Not the idiot. Your parents chose to have you and your siblings. You have a daughter. She comes first, period. I'd be more sympathetic to your parents if it was an emergency, but according to the original post, they are consumer debt junkies who still haven't learned. Your parents should meet debt counselors or consider bankruptcy. They could then keep their house. Was she wrong to abandon her parents? Let me know in the comments. Now, am I the idiot for telling my girlfriend to stop competing with a ghost? My male 25, father, deceased, studied to be a chef, but life got in the way and had to do something else, but he kept his cooking skills. Every Saturday or Sunday, he prepares us a 5-course meal for the family. We, family, are not that good, but we get together at least 2 times a month and cook some of the dishes that he used to prepare for us. My GF, female 26, also likes to cook and she is very good at it. She has been part of said tradition as a guest and knows the many plates my father made for us. Now, for the past 6 months she has invited me to eat at her house. She has made every said plates. I didn't find it strange at the beginning, but after a couple of times, every time that she asked me how it was, no matter how much I tell her that it was very good, she somehow ends up dissatisfied with my answer. I asked her what the issue was but got no answer. A few days ago, she made my favorite dish and dessert. After I basically stuffed my face, she asked me how it was and I told her it was freaking delicious. She started with how delicious. I answered her with 30 different delicious ways and she was still not satisfied. Then she asked the question, better than your dad's, and I understood why she was not satisfied. This is what I said to her and what possibly makes me the asshole. Please don't do that because I will never compare the two of you. Your food is delicious. I mean, I ate half a pot in one sitting of how good it was. But if you want me to tell you that you are better than my old man, I'm sorry, but it won't happen, and it's not because of the level of your cuisine but for the mere fact that you are not my old man. You're good in your own right. I look forward to eating your food just as much as I did every weekend he cooked for us. He's gone. Please stop competing with the ghost because you're fighting a losing battle. She ended up kicking me out and things have been icy between us. Edit. I never thought this would get this much attention. I will give you more information to make things clearer. She never met my father. We met 2 years after he passed away. Neither my family has compared her food or my brother's partners to our fathers or anyone. Our grandma, dad's mother, did that to us, not them, and we made her cut it out because we know it's just plain rude. When we get together, we're not babbling about our father. We know it would be a drag. We catch up about what we're doing while someone cooks. If one of them brings a dish, we happily eat it. If there's something we can be wrong when we go to mom's house, it's that we don't let them cook mom's request. My brothers or I are the ones who do it, and we do it because we have many mannerisms from our father. Although we are not him, it's like he is here. If they want to help, we let them help, but we are mainly in charge. We mostly cook what our fathers used to prepare, but we also do other things. If one of them invites us to their place, we all happily go and eat whatever they prepare because they're also very good at it. Lastly, we are planning to talk later today or tomorrow to clear things up and move from there. You're the idiot. She loves you and wants your recognition. She handled it poorly, but this is awful, and you handled it worse by orders of magnitude. If you have the maturity to cook, then you have the maturity to communicate openly. Your dad might be gone, but she is in front of you right now trying to be important. What happens for the rest of your life, and whether she is a part of it, depends on how you resolve this situation right now. Not the idiot. If my partner was demanding I specifically say she was better at something than my dead father, or the relationship was over, I'd be seriously worried about her and looking for the door. It's fine to want praise, not to demand to be held higher than a dead loved one, or anyone really. Some insecurity is understandable, and you should affirm and praise her effort. But this is too far. Update. I spoke with my ex-GF the day after I made the post. The first thing she did was to apologize for her behavior. A stern talk from her parents and also from her therapist made her realize that she was acting out of pure jealousy. She told me that she was going to have 2 sessions a week and suggested couples therapy. We talked more in depth, and I decided to not break up with her for the moment. I wanted to give her the benefit of the doubt, and my life was already hectic with work. I wanted to wait to be in a better headspace. We communicated only through calls and messages, but we were on standby until new information came to light. A few days ago, one of my brothers called me for a work consultation and to have dinner with them. During dinner, they asked me how things were going, and I told them that we were talking more, but things were still on the fence. That's when my sister-in-law told me something that happened between them. SILs get together once a week, and my ex was included. She said that months ago, just before her behavior started, my ex suggested to them about taking over our family dinners. I'm not talking about them cooking that day or hosting the dinner at their houses. No, I'm talking about completely erasing the whole thing. SILs refused and told her that the dinner was important for them too. They like it, and if she had a problem, to talk to me. My ex-GF still tried to push the idea a few more times until my SILs got tired and stopped inviting her to hang out with them and stopped talking with her, but they stayed civil. I talked with my other SILs that night, and they confirmed the whole thing. The next day I called my ex-GF telling her that we needed to talk. We met at her parents' house, and I went straight to the point. I told her that I found out what she tried to do. She confirmed, and I broke up with her. She wanted to get rid of dinners at my mother's house entirely. She tried to get my sister-in-law to join her cause, but once that failed, she started trying to be better than my deceased father. She did that to get me to stop going to my family gatherings or to join her cause to stop the family dinners. I hope this is clearer. Not the idiot, and you handled this whole thing remarkably well. Even though her reaction to your initial statement was way over the top, I thought the statement itself was great. It was measured and explanatory, not angry. And since then, you really tried to give her the space and chance needed to prove herself. But when new information came to light, you were direct and decisive. Kudos to you. You're a very mature 25-year-old. How would you have handled this, girlfriend? Let me know in the comments. Now, am I the idiot for being upset when my parents announced that mom is pregnant? I am 16. I am an adoptee. My parents have always wanted biological kids. They have been doing the IVF thing for a long time. It finally worked. They had invited my grandparents for breakfast today, and they announced that they were pregnant. Everyone was really happy and hugged it out. I tried to pretend that I am happy, but I couldn't. I was really shocked. It just felt like something they did that would never work, but it had finally worked. My parents didn't say anything about it, but my grandma pulled me aside and told me when we were alone that I should be happy for my parents. They have struggled for years, and I am being a selfish brat, and I should try to be a good elder sister when the child is born. I know that I should be happy for them, but honestly I just want to cry. I can't really explain why I feel that way. I feel so selfish. My parents are so happy, and they have spent so much time and money on it. They are overjoyed. I feel like someone who is ruining the vibes and making them all unhappy. I should have just faked a smile, not the idiot. I probably shouldn't be stirring the pot here, but I think they should have told you first in private. And your grandma was cruel. If you hold on to these feelings and let them build resentment of the child, that's not great, but hopefully your parents will listen to how you feel and work through it positively with you. It must be scary and different, and no one should blame you for feeling that way. You haven't done anything wrong. You're the idiot. If you were behaving so badly that your grandma had to take you aside to tell you to stop, then it must have been fairly obvious. Are you entitled to feel angry, sad, threatened, whatever? Of course. But are you entitled to spoil the happiness of others? Nope. That's selfish brat territory, and you got called on it. Update. It really helped me feel less like an idiot and talk to my parents about it. They were very open to conversation. They said they had been overwhelmed with excitement and handled it very poorly by not telling me. I think they saw why I may be worried, and they told me why they wanted to do IVF rather than try to adopt again. I was fostered before being adopted, and one of my relatives tried to gain custody but failed. I knew that, but they have always told this in a manner where they always knew that they would be able to adopt me, but I guess they didn't know they would get to raise me. Mom told me that they had already fallen in love with me, and at one point they had been so sure they would lose me that they had said their goodbyes to me. They were both close to tears when they talked, but my relative failed to show up to court, and I ended up being adopted by mom and dad. It is very sad. I have never realized how stressful that would have been for them. We talked a lot and I was very much less scared about the baby. No idiots here. Thank you for your update and your honesty. It sounds as if you're with loving parents that care a lot about you, and this is wonderful to see. I can totally understand how they got traumatized with the court case. The thought that your child can be taken away from you is terrible, and I understand that they don't want to go through something like this anymore. It only shows you that you are their child by heart, that they treasure you, and that through you they felt that they have enough love for another kid in their lives. The heart only grows with more people in it, and I am sure your sibling will add a whole lot of love to your family. All the best to you.